it's an elephant in the room a little bit. I was looking at it just sort of in the research for this, and I remember this is kind of why I wanted to do this episode, because our Lord and Savior Ben Starr said something that kind of like, is he gatekeeping the gaming industry?
Go on, spill.
Hi everybody, and welcome to episode 162 of the High Scores, High Stakes podcast, the podcast that sometimes likes to be a movie adaptation. I'm your host, sometimes Tomahawk, and with me for the video viewers is not my regular co-host.
I'm Hooke. Hello, how are we all? How's it going? I'm a friend of the channel, and yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
You are now officially High Scores, High Stakes alumni. You are a friend of the podcast. You have joined the annals of our guests. You have joined the great Leoric. You've joined ACY. You've joined Evan Saba. You've joined a whole rake of guests. Ghost Kai, all these friends. You are now part of the crew. Hooke, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much for taking the time out and coming to chat nonsense. As you say, a little chin wag before record there. Right. We are going to be talking about, if the pun wasn't clear enough, video game adaptations and everything that is right and wrong with that. We're going to sort of talk about what we like, what we don't like, what we think we can do to save that, and we'll throw in some hot takes at the same time then. But before we do that, Hooke, we have a few things to take care of, because if this isn't your 162nd episode, this is definitely going to be your first episode. And one thing we've learned at High Scores, High Stakes, that it's always going to be somebody's first episode. So typically, High Scores, High Stakes is 3 friends, 3 PlayStations over a 12-week period competing in a series of PlayStation gaming challenges. Every week we pick a new game and play a challenge in that game. The winner getting 3 points, second place getting 2 points, third place getting 1 point. And at the end of the season, whoever has the most points comes home with the coveted High Scores, High Stakes Cup. We are coming to the end of Season 6 regulation play. However, trying to get anybody's schedule aligned in May has been proving a little bit difficult. So we're doing some side quests. Hence tonight. At the end, last Monday of every month, we usually do our Game of the Month Club. Last month we covered, I do not remember. Was it Resident Evil? Quite possibly. This month we're going to be covering the Spell Brigade, a little co-op twin stick shooter. It's going to be a great way episode to check that out next week, but that is next week's problem. If 60 minutes or so of High Scores, High Stakes isn't enough to fill your week, go over to highscoreshighstakes.com, where you can find everything we are on the internet. We're usually on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, the full heap. We are there. So check out highscoreshighstakes.com. Hooke, before we get any further, is anything, introduce yourself to the world, introduce yourself to High Scores, High Stakes. Where can we find you on the internet, and what is it that you're doing?
You can find me on Twitch mostly, TheHooke with an underscore. It's a whole thing, don't ask. Or ask in the comments if you want. No, it's free engagement. But you can find me mostly on Twitch. Twitter, YouTube is just Hooke as well. I mostly do a lot of like single player first plays on Twitch. That's where you mostly get me. Class. And as Tomahawk can vouch for, not usually the best gameplay. It's kind of like a podcast, so I kind of slot in here quite well.
I do appreciate your Twitch streams as well. It's always like a good solid 30 minutes of chatting. I feel as if like it's not to avoid the gameplay. It's just you are a very sociable kind of guy.
I can't help myself.
That's it. It's always a good thing that the gameplay you sort of lent into Souls likes an awful lot lately as well. So that's been quite a nice niche you've fallen into. So I've seen some absolutely cracking games as well. Like I know I've only kind of followed your channel for like the last year or so, but we're here now. So obviously we've had a good a rapport built anyway.
We have a lot of grief back and forth, a lot of funny moments.
Always, never a bad thing anyway. But yes, I'll stick everything in the show notes for this as well. So do check out Hooke. We streams Tuesdays and Sundays on Twitch, 8:30 BST.
Right. Yep,
perfect.
Better at this than me.
And do you know what though? This is the laugh. Like after 3 years nearly of doing this, you think, This is good crack. No, I've only ever had to like host 3 or 4 episodes tops of this. The streaming side of it helps as well, where you can just kind of chat into the void.
Yeah.
At this
We
point,
talked
it's
about
only
that before
yourself
we
talking
had
back. Yeah.
live there. Like, it's not easy talking to yourself when it's not live. It's really not easy. Like trying to record a YouTube video or something like that. You're so robotic. It's like
Oh yeah, when it's
going
just
through
like
everything.
I will read a
Yeah.
script. No, it's nice to have the people to bounce off in this instance now. But yes, I will stick all of your details in the show notes.
Thank
Everyone
you.
who wants to go check out Hooke, check out Hooke. He puts on a great stream. Him, and you also have your YouTube channel with a friend of the podcast, TheHooke, as well. You
I
do a
do.
lot of tech support.
Yeah, Zero Cash Tech on YouTube. A lot of streaming tech and streamer bot related stuff. So
Class.
basically how to get set up, any sort of troubleshooting. You can hit us with a question at any time in a comment or a stream or something like that. We'll make a video on it. And yeah, usually
Good
we've
shout
quick
out,
enough
so.
turnaround as well.
Happy days then. Right, no worries. With all of our housekeeping done, with everything boxes ticked, the next thing you get to be asked is our favorite segment, really, in High Scores, High Stakes. So, Hooke, for the first time ever as a High Scores, High Stakes guest, what are you playing?
I'm loving life. This is great. I've made it. At the moment. At the moment on Twitch, I'm playing. You mentioned I was in a bit of a Souls kick. So, quick backstory there was I was so against them. I was like, no, I'll never enjoy them. Chat convinced me, and now I love them. But I decided to take a break from the Souls game, so I thought I'll play something Souls adjacent, and I'm playing Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which is essentially a Souls game, but mixed with Uncharted. To give a
It's like a
PlayStation
Souls
reference.
light, isn't it? Yeah, the combat
exactly.
particularly, and
Yeah.
like I talked about this a few times. I think when I first played this as well, it's like Souls-like for combat, Metroidvania for exploration,
Yes.
and like as you say, Uncharted for the kind of narrative sense,
The
but it's all
parkour, like the
baked
yeah,
into
the
the Star
platformer.
Wars universe.
Yeah.
Like, so it's got everything really.
It's amazing. I had low expectations going in, and not in a bad way. I've watched the main films of Star Wars, but that's it. Like, I'm not a huge Star Wars, not like yourself. So I had low enough expectations, but I've loved it. Mine is streaming offline. I try and keep a game for offline. I'm playing Spider-Man 2 on the Portal at the moment, the PlayStation Portal. You can kind of see it there in the background. Yeah.
How are you finding
that's my offline
Spider-Man
game.
2? How are you
Loving it.
finding it?
Love it. I like the twist. I like the fact that obviously Miles and Peter, but the whole twist now of Craven and like Venom, essentially the symbiote and all that. Like,
Yeah.
I love that dynamic. No, that's what I'm really. I'm
It's
not that
a
far in the
weird
game,
one,
mind you.
like for
I'm about
me,
5 hours.
I think I picked it up as soon as it came on the Plus, and I think I kind of just wanted to tank the story in as
Golden
best,
path it.
in a way that I was able to just golden path it and do a little bit, if a side quest was in the way or I'm on my way to an objective, I'll go and do it.
Yeah.
The exploration on that game is one of the very few games, even Spider-Man Part 1 is not a game that I use fast travels in.
Yeah,
I just
exactly.
can't. It's so beautiful and it's so easy and accessible to travel the map.
I had
Why
a
would
moment
you?
the other night in the second one. Now you're saying that, where I was just randomly going across rooftops to a destination, and there was like the old sort of giant water containers that they have in America that are quite common on roofs of buildings.
Oh, yeah.
And the top is off it, but it's like a cafe inside. And it's on a random
Oh, no
building. You wouldn't
way.
even know it's there. And it's like a cafe inside, like tea lights. And I was like,
That's awesome.
that's amazing.
Just
Like, fast
those
traveling, you
details
miss
that they've put into it, yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So cool.
I remember doing the fast travel once in the Miles Morales expansion, and it is literally just a cutscene of Miles Morales
Yeah.
in the
subway.
suit
Yeah.
in the subway, and I'm like, that's kind of cool, but the game doesn't need loading screens. Like, the game is so
You're
immersive with
Spider-Man.
everything going on. You don't need just be Spider-Man and just
kind of like
zip line.
Batman
Like,
as well.
Exactly.
Arkham City, for example. Arkham Knight. Traversal, and that's really fun.
they're so good. Like, I mean, yeah, when a game is that immersive in like the character you're playing, just enjoy it. Like, even if you are just web slinging and just doing your combos and because you get the XP for doing your flips and your
Yeah.
tricks and all that as well.
You can
And that
really
helps.
level yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, it's one I kind of rushed, but I think I want to go back. For me, the story was dead on. I feel as if they maybe
So you
reached
finished
a
the
bit.
second one, yeah?
I have finished the second one, yeah. I think the story was very good, but I feel as if they deliberately left a lot of stuff open for a third one.
Trilogy. Yeah, okay.
But how and where you sort of take that, I can kind of see who the villains might be in part 3, but I just want to go back and maybe enjoy the world a little bit more and do some do
That's
some
fair.
extra side missions.
You know what I
like
love
that.
actually about those games is the fact that difficulty doesn't matter. So there's no trophy
No,
tied
not
to
at all.
difficulty. I think that's fantastic in a way because it allows people to 100% the game on the easiest mode if they really want to.
Oh yeah, definitely. You're not
think that's
bothered
fantastic.
to do like you're not obliged to do the hardest difficulty or New Game Plus on the hardest difficulty. You can just enjoy it for
Coast
what
through
it
it.
is like, and I think that's
Yeah.
brilliant for like the
I love
trophy
that.
hunters in the world. Definitely.
Yeah, exactly. I have a friend of mine that has a separate PSN account for that reason, where it's just completions.
No.
On a second, I'm tempted to do the same. I've been tempted.
We
recently.
have there's a friend of the podcast, Discount Josh. He runs his Instagram account, and a lot of 99% of the time, it's I've just platinum this game. I think he's on something like he's approaching the 300 platinum mark.
That's crazy.
It's wild. No, it is. It's
I respect it. Yeah.
It's a great hobby to have, but it's not for me. I have 3 platinums in my entire lifetime.
I think I've won. I can't even remember what
One
it is,
of
but
them
I
is
think I've won.
Astrobot.
Great game.
But
Great game.
I've been playing. What have I been playing? I have been busy. I was like yourself. I have my streaming game. I've been playing Ground Zero from the indie survival
Very
horror
good.
from Malformation game. Fixed camera angles, storage, inventory management. It's been brilliant. I'm about, according to my PlayStation stat here, I'm about 11 hours in, but that's probably not taken into account all the times that I've died and lost progress and had to go and run around to look for a save point to then not have the storage to open the save point. So
Yeah.
it's been an experience, to be fair. And I keep playing, I keep saying this on stream as well, because I keep thinking it's a PlayStation 1 game. I keep thinking it has like the save states or the rewind function.
Gotcha.
And then when I remember that it doesn't, I'm like, oh no, I've lost.
It's like playing back on the original PlayStation. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I streamed it there last week, and I was like, right, I've done loads of stuff, and then next thing you know, the boss in that area just one-shotted me, and then I realized that the last save I had was like 45 minutes prior, so I just quit. I just rage quit, basically.
It's brutal. It's like being a child over again.
Oh, it's
It's what it's
you know
like.
what we have it too good with auto saves now, so having to actually go and manually save at certain points, and the points aren't handy either. They're central in the map, but they're not handy to anything.
I like it as a mechanic though. There's two aspects of that game, like the save points being like a set location or something that you have to think about, and the fact that you mentioned fixed camera angles. So the fixed camera angle and like a set sort of painted background, like you would have got in like the early Resident Evils or Final Fantasy or something like that. I love that. I think I get a lot of grief for this, where I love skyboxes in games, but it's just backgrounds in general. Like, love it. See if the time has been taken, and that is a handcrafted background. Especially in the older games, like you mentioned, PlayStation 1, where they were 2D, but they looked 3D. Because it was just a painting. Your character was 3D.
It's like Final Fantasy 7 as well. Like the idea of them having to be able to have super packed in detail, and you just have a little pixel sprite run around on those details, and then you kind of layer. They're just able to layer an image file on top of it. Like it's gorgeous. But yeah, Ground Zero has been a great game. I think it's something like less than £20 on PlayStation Store. So if anyone wants to pick it up,
it looks very good.
It's awesome, because when we talked about it last year, we had Evan on talking about Resident Evil 3, and he did say about Ground Zero coming out. Should it do well, they're going to do DLCs and they're going to do additional content for it. So I would love to see that. I would love to see more of it already. So definitely anyone who wants to check that out, do check that out. It is not sponsored, but perfect world. I've also dipped my toes back into Returnal. From Housemarque. I've set myself this challenge that I will not get Saros until I finish Returnal.
Saros made you dip back into Returnal?
Saros made me dip back into Returnal. I was looking in Ian Tennet's stream last week, or a couple of weeks ago when it first came out, and went, I need to do Returnal. I need to finish Returnal. I know they're not connected.
Yeah.
But I can't leave Returnal hanging.
They're like a spiritual sequel, is what I've heard people call it.
I'm not finishing Returnal anytime soon.
I got to
the boss. The boss I'm stuck on currently has been the boss I've been stuck on since the last time I put a heavy spell into the game, and I've got to that boss twice. The entire time I've been replaying Returnal, I've got to that boss one time, because it's so far away. The biome is like when you unlock the biomes, you can just get a shortcut. If you find the right room, you can just shortcut right to the the level that you need to be at. However, you need to maybe get your weapon proficiencies up. You need to get like through the level itself. You need to then go through the boss rush to get to the boss, all without dying, all without losing health states, all without
Run
like
backs.
you need to get it's run backs and pickups and stuff like that. So I'm trying to like
Yeah.
find the balance of how to make the run work. And I know you can like suspend the cycle. You can effectively like pause it where you are and then turn the game off, and you get one per run.
Oh, okay.
So it's how you time that if you need to take a tactical break. And I got to the boss and I got through like, because all the bosses have 3 health bars.
Right, okay.
I got about halfway through the entire fight and then went, yeah, this isn't happening. I need like a bonus life. I need like additional, or I need more cooldowns. I need more health. I need more stopping power, and I don't have that in the runs I'm putting together. So Returnal's going to be one I'm probably going to play until after I'm dead.
So that's an offline game then.
That's very much my offline game at the minute now, but it's my cozy ASMR game. I'll like play it for a run, and a run could last me half an hour.
Yeah, but you're
And
satisfied.
then when I'm done, I'm going, right, that's me tapped out.
Perfect.
And then I for the portal, I've been dipping into vampire crawlers because who doesn't love the Vampire Survivor series? No, like I love roguelikes, I love card-based games, I love Balatro. So this is kind of just like everything I need to do now. It's a handy one for the portal. You just boot it up, you just run your little level, and you just upgrade your decks and fight bats in the lovely pixel graphics. So like, not an awful. I've been playing an awful lot, to be honest.
Not too much in between all the travel and everything else.
Do you know what? The last couple of weeks now, I've been needing to get back into a bit of gaming now. So I think it's going to be a gaming heavy week this week. So by next week, I'll probably have nothing to say, nothing to play.
Quickly though, you mentioned the portal. It's really shocked me. Got it at Christmas. It was one of the things I thought,
oh yeah,
fantastic.
We throw away, I know this is a PlayStation gadget at the time.
I know there's a lot of Xbox stuff in the background. The portal's fantastic. It's such worthwhile.
Unbelievable. Yeah. I remember when I got mine, I thought to myself,
it's fantastic.
Yes, as a gaming dad, like this is the one thing we tend not to mention in the podcast, like the real life kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But we all allude to it. Like the gaming dad thing is very much like apparent for us, particularly like me, Cardinal, and Lova. The portals. Like I got my portal after Cardinal got his, and then Lova went, well, I don't want to be left out, and he got a portal. So if the world was fair and the portal had like a better storage capacity, we would run the entire podcast on a portal if it were possible.
Yeah.
All of the gameplay footages, all of the online stuff, that's how we would run it in a perfect world, but it doesn't, so we can't.
Portal 2. Hopefully.
Sony. Where's my camera?
Sony. They're
watching, of course. I know they're listening. They're listening. That cease and desist is coming.
Started out Sony. I wanted to play it on
that's it. You're saying it's Microsoft stuff in the background. So Halo is now part of the Sony family. That's it. You know what? I genuinely, when that comes out, I probably will. I might day one it.
Maybe. I'm 100% day one it because I'm a huge fan, but like I'm a Halo fan, more so than like an Xbox fan. I had PlayStation was my first consoles growing up. I then got Xbox later. But
were you the same as me then? Did you go like PlayStation 2 into Xbox, and then you kind of have now dipped back and forth? Just if we're going to deep dive Hooke's gaming history here.
Sega originally as a kid, Mega Drive, which is still up there. You can kind of see it. Then PlayStation 1, then PS2, I believe, and then original Xbox 360. I was later then to the PS3 life. I got it towards the end. Because I just made the 360 back in the day because it kicked ass, and then the PS4 came out and kicked the Xbox One's ass, so I went back to PS4.
Okay. Yeah, no, mine's very similar to that. Just while we're chin wagging about this, we started off at the N64, then we moved on to the PlayStation 2, and then we had the PlayStation 2 for pretty much forever and a day. I still have one of my PlayStation 2s. I then got into Xbox 360. Then got a PS3 at the very end of the life cycle because I wanted to play The Last of Us. Then got a PS4, then got a PS5, and now I'm kind of like, I have an Xbox One somewhere.
on
It's
the floor
somewhere.
somewhere.
It's like a desk. It's like a stand for something else at this point
Yeah,
now. But I'm looking at I have Xbox One titles on my shelf, so I must have it in the house
somewhere.
somewhere. I don't use it. I had it for Game Pass whenever I got a free stint of Game Pass, and then just
Yeah,
went, I don't need it anymore. So
yeah. That's
this is the
exactly it.
most we'll ever talk about Xbox on a PlayStation podcast
Yes,
as well.
that was my fault.
No, that's
Shame me
fine.
in the comments.
100%. Right. As much as I love to talk about what we are playing and what we have been playing and what we will be playing, what I want to do is I'm going to steer us into the direction of what we're going to be talking about today. We kind of talked about being gaming dads and having proficient gaming histories, I'll say. Gaming adaptations,
Mhm.
specifically film and television, has somewhat of a checkered history, we'll say.
Checkered. Yeah,
But we watch them all the same. Correct.
we get
I
excited for them.
assume, yeah, we get excited
Yeah,
for them. We watch them all the same, and then the inevitable disappointment comes
yeah,
through. So I think what we're going to do, we'll take the next like half hour or so. We'll kind of talk about what is up with Hollywood and the gaming industry, why this relationship doesn't seem to exist, and what we can do to maybe fix that. Does that sound
yeah.
good to you, Hook?
Sounds good to me. I'll have an
Cool.
opinion. I can guarantee that.
We will take a little music break and then we'll get into that conversation then, because I've been thinking about this for a long time, and I will talk about it in the next section, but there was something that was said at the BAFTAs that I have a bit of a hot take on. So
Okay.
we'll take our break and we'll go into that now then. So, Hook, we are going to put our collective heads together and we're going to try and fix Hollywood. Now, I've been
Easy.
looking and doing a little bit of research. Easy said. I've been doing a little bit of research onto video game adaptations across the years. There's been a lot.
Yeah,
There's been a lot. There is a lot to unpack on that situation there. But for the lot of times, they don't seem to work. They don't seem to land. We find ourselves in this like incredible situation in 2026 where like the video games industry is probably the biggest industry in the world,
oh, it is. Like
to the
profit
point
margins
where
wise, it's bigger than the film industry. Yeah,
it's probably bigger than the film industry 100%. So
yeah,
I can see why these like crossovers are happening or why these like adaptations are happening. There is something. It's an elephant in the room a little bit. I was looking at just sort of in the research for this, and I remember this is kind of why I wanted to do this episode, because our Lord and Savior Ben Starr said something that kind of like, is he gatekeeping the gaming industry?
go on, spill.
So he was approached regarding the like the idea of having Expedition 33 adapted about Street Fighter and God of War all coming into the silver screen again in new iterations, particularly for Street Fighter. And his
Yeah,
quote back, I don't think video games need to justify their existence by being TV shows or movies. I kind of see where he's coming from with this, because video games as an art form or as a narrative form are very strong. Stronger
yeah,
than some films, I would argue.
yeah,
But
100%.
there is a lot of an audience who probably would resonate with the likes of Expedition 33 as a narrative, but can't find the time or just don't resonate with video games as a culture,
As a
if that
medium,
makes sense.
yeah, as a medium of entertainment.
They would
Yeah,
probably get more joy out of watching that Expedition's journey in a HBO production or in some sort of
I
like
think.
elongated movie.
Yeah, I was going to mention the game there, but we'll leave it until we're talking about adaptions. But there is one in particular that I'm thinking about right now that is perfect for that, because I have had people in real life that don't game, never have gamed, but
Yeah.
have watched the adaptation of that said game and think it's fantastic.
Like, yeah, no, I'm in the same boat as well. Like Mrs. Tomahawk, she's not a gamer in any capacity,
Yeah, kind of like Mrs.
but
Hooke. Yeah.
will definitely sit, as long as I'm not too passionate about the game that's being adapted. She
Yeah.
will sit and watch and give it a go, as long as I don't come off as too keen, because being too keen puts her off. That
Yeah,
happened with The Last of Us.
I did have a Halo.
I was very cool and collected about Fallout and went, Oh, it's just a video game. I don't know. We'll see what it's like. And then she
Inside, you're
loved
like,
it. She actually thought was really really good.
yeah,
It was so just that Ben Starr comment kind of is like the nexus point, the crux of why I wanted to do this episode. It felt gatekeepy a
I
little bit,
get
but
what
I
you're
can
saying.
kind of see where he's coming from. But
Yeah,
like we're in a stage where these adaptations kind of need to like these games kind of need to reach a broad audience, and I think
broader,
sometimes the
not
best
to
way to
sound
do
like
that is
corporate, but I like a broader audience in a sense, like
yeah,
make that appeal.
like
Yeah, I get what you're
I know
saying.
a lot of time these adaptations come through and it's purely just to let's bandwagon and let's just make as
Aye,
much money as we can. But
boxes, just
I
check them.
think
Yeah,
yeah, when it's a
yeah,
story like particularly Expedition 33 is this example, I think it just needs to be done in a tasteful manner, of course, like, but
and could be
everyone needs
as
to
well.
experience it, to be honest. But
Mm.
there's a few other games I kind of want to touch base on. Like, I mean, there's a lot of reasons why. We'll talk the bad first. We'll talk about why they don't work. And I think we did touch on a few points on this as well. It feels like a box ticking exercise.
Yeah,
Like a popular,
100%.
my main example. I'm going to lean on this one quite heavily is Resident Evil.
Yes,
Um, Resident Evil as a film series, man, it's
straight to
atrocious.
DVD. That's what
Straight
it
to
screams in
DVD
my
would be the
head.
best
Straight to DVD.
because it just felt like it was here are the games, here's the premise of what these games were, and then the studio just went, yeah, we're gonna do something else entirely different.
Yeah.
Like Lava was telling me about this as well. Like he tells me on this on regular occasion. It's the only film in the cinema that he's ever walked out on before the
Oh,
film is
really?
finished. He is that much of a Resident Evil fanboy that he was so offended by that film that he has never finished it, never seen the end of it. And I think he said it was around the time the liquor shows up in Resident Evil, the movie, that he went, I'm out. I can't do this anymore. They're
Okay.
like, what is it? Marlon Brando says in The Godfather, he's like, look how they massacred my boy. He just was so irate from
Very
it.
good.
But that went on to do like 6 or 7 films in
Yeah.
that
I looked it
series.
up yesterday when you messaged me, and I couldn't believe how many there was because I've seen the main one, Resident Evil, before I played any of the games. I did it backwards for Resident Evil, and yeah, I watched it and was like, this feels like just like a cheap sort of sci-fi action film. Is what it felt like. But people love it.
Yeah.
There's been that many
No,
spin-offs that enough people love it that the studio greenlit more films, or they produce more films.
that's it. 100%. Like, because Resident Evil, like, it shares the name and no more as far as I'm
Yeah.
concerned. Like, Resident Evil 1 came out and it was effectively you got a mansion, you got the hive, and then you got a um, umbrella team going in to find out what happened in the hive. And that's pretty much where the similarities end. We obviously get Resident Evil Apocalypse, where they bring in the Nemesis and they bring in like all the events of Raccoon City, Jill, Carlos, and they kind of combine. Well, they don't even combine Resident Evil 2. They basically just skip to Resident Evil 3. So there just seems to be an awful lot of disregard to the lore and a disregard to like its origin
Yeah. And
that,
I hate that. You do see that a lot with a lot of conversions, if you call it that, or adaptions would be the right word. Where it's kind of like, right, here's the sort of gist of what this game is or universe is, and they're like, they'll score out that line and rewrite that line and be like, but that's how I see this. As someone
yeah.
who maybe necessarily isn't a fan of the media, but maybe they are, but they just want to put their own stamp on it. But you don't need to. And I think that's what kills a lot of the adaptions is they try and make it have such an impact. Just like people love the video game adaptation or the video game medium of these games, the story, I should say, for what they are. You don't need to try and rewrite it hugely or
Yeah,
the silver
you
screen.
have to respect the medium that you're adapting
the story
at
beats
the end
like,
of the day. Like there's a lot to be said about the Resident Evil games because it follows Alice, who's not a canon character,
yeah,
but she does go along the way meet Claire Redfield. She meets Wesker. She meets Carlos. She meets a few of the other characters within the core franchise. Then they have no major part to play, or if they do, it's like, oh well, Resident Evil 5 came out, so let's put Jill's section in where she's got the the mind control bug on her chest, and we'll have Wesker fly a plane, but forget that he's flying a plane at times. Like the character insertion doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And I think it's the further that the franchise got, they were like, well, we have to mention these characters now at this point.
Yeah. Plus, it's
I
fan
also have
service in a way.
beef. That's it. It's fan service.
Yeah.
I also have beef with Paul Anderson, who did all of the Resident Evil films, because it's not just Resident Evil he's guilty of. Mortal Kombat in 1995.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it as well here. Monster Hunter in 2020
Well, I
as
didn't know he
well.
did Monster Hunter. I knew he did Mortal Kombat, but I didn't know Monster Hunter. Okay.
Monster Hunter was one that kind of just appeared, and it's 2020, so we were sort of in the height of, or like in the middle of lockdown at this point.
Yeah.
And I think it was just another excuse to cast his wife, Mila Jovovich, as well as in it. It just
Yeah.
was kind of, it's Monster Hunter in name and no more. But
Again, same theme.
he must have a good relationship with someone in Capcom if he keeps getting the green light.
They must love it. They must love the adaptations. And to your point about Alice, though, like her not being one of the main characters that we see in the games, I don't mind that as a concept. If you're looking at it on paper and saying this is what we're going to do, she's going to be a unique character, because in that way, they could have told a unique story that doesn't involve any of the beats of the game, but then make references to the game. Or if they bump into the likes of Jill and stuff, you know that, oh, Jill's doing this at the minute, what she does in the game. No, you could kind of have crossovers like that, but make it its own standalone story, but make it fit around the game stories. That would work.
Yeah.
But,
well, like, it's funny that you say that, because it kind of brings me nicely onto where, like, particularly Resident Evil as a film franchise, because it has been at a mess for the longest period, dormant now. But Zach Krieger, he now is the man who has been charged with revitalizing the movie franchise, because even the last couple of years, actually, before we talk about Zach Krieger, there was the straight to Netflix Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City.
Just
if you remember,
I haven't seen it. I have to
awful.
say.
Genuinely,
it
I
was
like they
the
tried
reception
to mix.
Okay.
They, in my opinion, it just didn't land. Some of the casting was pretty good, but they kind of tried to shoehorn the events of 2 and 3 into one movie.
Okay.
And it kind of just felt a mess. Like Robbie Amell playing Chris Redfield was quite good, and the girl who played Claire was very decent castings, quite well received in that regard. But I think it was a bit of a mess of a movie for wedged in for 2 hours, really. But that was as close as to canon or a representation of the canon that we've ever got in a Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Until I'm hoping when Resident Evil comes out in, I want to say September.
Yeah, it's soon enough, isn't it?
Soon enough. Now I think we got our first trailer a couple of weeks ago. So Zach Krieger, for those who don't know, he's the man who directed Weapons. And there was another film that came to mind there. It's just escaped from me now. But this dude is like horror personified. He just knows what's going on with that genre. Yeah. He is a avid Resident Evil fan, and I think he's basically come out and said, I want to be able to put this film out as a love letter to the franchise.
That's what you want. That is what you want. Yeah.
He's baked.
That's how it should be.
This one has baked into the lore. He's like, this is taking place during Resident Evil 2. The only thing he's probably majorly changed is the time of year.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's established in this that it's not canon. This isn't going to be established into the canon of the game. This is I just want to tell a story from a nobody in Raccoon City at the time of Resident Evil 2 taking place, and I think it's going to land.
And that, as you mentioned there, and as I was mentioning, that's what they should have done with Alice. Make it its own standalone story, but make it a strong story.
She doesn't have to, even with Alice, you don't have to interact with characters in the franchise. You can go off and have your own arc, and it would be quite a good story to tell. But this one, this new Resident Evil film, has me excited, and I think if it lands in September, I'm definitely going to be going to see it now. But the proof will be in the watching. Now I've seen the trailer, and it has a lot of lovely references to the game. It's going to be reference heavy, I think.
Yeah. So as long as it doesn't go over that line of just pure fan service with not much substance.
I think it's going to be a fine line. I really enjoyed Barbarian. That was what it was. His other title was called Barbarian and Weapons, and I really enjoyed both of those films. So I think he's going to make it a genuinely scary affair,
Excellent.
but it's going to have a pre-baked lore behind it, and you're just going to be in for the ride.
Yeah, I love the take on the trailer. That I've seen the trailer a few days back as well, and I love the direction. When I watched the trailer, when I first seen the clip, it was on a reel of all places,
Yeah,
and I didn't see yet what it was, and I was like, "This looks good." But then when I clicked into it, I was like, "Oh, it's Resident Evil," and yeah, I like what I've seen, so I'm optimistic, to say the least.
oh, I can't wait. I really can't wait. Now I'm just trying to think where the next example that I kind of want to
A bad
bring
example.
up now. We'll go with. Should we go with another bad example? I think we'll do two bad and then we'll do two good. I think, and I think because we're half talking about this. I was talking to Flimosh and Sierra on Twitch the other day about this. Do I want to lump Tomb Raider in as a bad film adaptation, or are we going
I
to
have
kind
it
of say
down on
these
my
are?
list as bad.
You have it in bad, right? Okay, I want to hear your thoughts about why
Yeah,
this is bad. Then, and I'm going to bounce off this then because I am a bit on the fence, particularly on the first one. I know the second one I will categorically back as a bad film
yeah.
or a bad adaptation, at least anyway. But let's hear your thoughts on Tomb Raider. Then I think that'll be a good starting point.
Sure. I think what pops into my head when I thought about Tomb Raider, when you first sent me this question, there was a couple of adaptations straight away, and Tomb Raider was probably first or second that popped into my head. And I think of the Angelina Jolie time period, and to me, then it was kind of like, do you remember Wanted? Do you remember Wanted, like the sort of superhero esque film? I kind of got, it was kind of more an action film at the time. It was just about the stunts. I hearken it to, in similarity to the Uncharted adaptation.
Oh yes,
as well.
yes, like the Survivor trilogy that the new Tomb Raider's got. Yeah.
Yeah, like it seems like cheap action is how it came across to me. And every one of them, because obviously they've recast, they've rebooted each time, they've changed Lara. It just doesn't stick with me. It doesn't grasp me. When I play a Tomb Raider game, everywhere you go in them, it just seems so rich with mystique and mystery. But it seemed like just pure action punches. No, just here's the next story beat. Here's the goal. Here's where we need to get to. There wasn't much build-up or mystique in any of the storylines in any of the Tomb Raider, so they didn't grab me in that way. If I'm purely sitting down with some popcorn and it's on the TV, I could watch through and be mildly entertained. But as for leaving the film and thinking about plots of the film or like things that happened, no. Nothing would stick out in my mind after walking out of the cinema from watching them, any of them. And I've seen them all.
That's interesting. No, so like because I forgot that we had forgot that we kind of had a second Tomb Raider iteration as well. With
I can't remember her name, unfortunately.
Oh no, I have her name to hand here. Alicia Vikander.
Yes,
she did. She did one that was a reasonably good.
I think Laura was okay, or Lara was okay. Sorry, the actual character. I just mean the direction they went with the story in the films and like the build up was mystique and anything but just here's where I'm running towards. I thought it was very simple. Even the Angelina Jolie ones, there was loads of action scenes and it was just a very simple story, which I didn't like because it just to me it's Uncharted, like Lara Croft and Uncharted, or like you play Drake's Fortune. It's a perfect example where like there's just so much mystique. And the film adaptation didn't do that either. There was no mystique.
Yeah. No, I'm looking at the release date or the release window of this, and I was also just while we were talking about Resident Evil there, looking at the release window of that. Is this a victim of the early 2000s and kind of being caught up in the whole Matrix slow motion kung fu kind of thing? Are we
that
just being
perfect?
Or is everything just been bombarded with that was what the style was at the time, so that's just what we had to accept, with particularly with like Tomb Raider, who is just she's a parkour wizard who is good with guns.
Yeah, that's it. Like it's that's a perfect way to describe it. There was so many films around that time, but that sort of style is the best way of putting it. And you're right that she's a badass, an absolute badass, and can do all sorts of flips and you name it, is unbelievable.
Yeah,
especially athletic. So having action scenes in those films made perfect sense, but it just feels it just substance outside of the action. But maybe that was on me for expecting more than just a 90s noughties action flick. That's how I felt when I was watching them. Kind of not in bad, but I think of like those Jean-Claude Van Damme films, which some of them are fantastic, some are awful. Steven Seagal, no, all that stuff. Where
Yeah,
like
yeah, that's it.
some are
They
fantastic, but
have a
most are just
formula and
here's
they
me kicking
don't
people.
deviate from that. Yeah.
Yeah, like poorly executed, loads of potential. When I thought about them,
It's funny though because I'm then sitting here thinking, having like recently played like Tomb Raider 1 and Tomb Raider 2 on the remasters,
yeah,
I don't know how I'd feel about going and watching a film about being stuck in a 2D or in a 3D rendered pyramid underground and then accidentally falling off a invisible ledge and breaking my neck and having to restart. I don't think that film would be very would be
she can
very
only jump in
interesting.
certain 8
She
directions.
can only jump in straight lines.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think we're very much like, I like Tomb Raider 1. I think Tomb Raider 1 was like the first time that, I think particularly at the age I was when that came up, was the first time being able to see, I've played these games. I can resonate with this in a particular way, and like to actually see this in like in a real life format was
yeah,
really cool. And I think the casting, I remember everyone, it was nearly on par with like who's going to be the next Bond back in the day.
right. Okay, like the hype around it.
The hype around Lara Croft and Angelina Jolie being cast as Lara Croft was
Yeah,
amazing. The hype
Angelina
around
Jolie was
that was
huge at that
so
stage.
good. Huge,
Yeah,
exactly. I think that was, and then I don't remember the story all too much, but I remember John Voight played her dad in it as well, and
mm.
basically she went off and had to go and find stuff that he had done. And I think the bad guy was like, "Oh, but your dad was here and he did all this stuff, so why aren't you doing?" It was very ropey, but I suppose all of those all those action adventure games are ropey to begin with. Like even the plot of Tomb Raider 1,
Yeah,
I couldn't tell you what that is in
yeah.
the
I know.
game.
I just remember randomly jumping about doing flips, locking people in freezers, that type of thing.
But then we got two films with Angelina Jolie. We got one with Alicia Vikander. We also like we're kind of in this realm of another resurgence of Tomb Raider as well, kind of similar to
Yeah, it's come back with Sophie
how
Turner,
Resident
isn't it?
Evil, it's come back around. We've got Sophie Turner in the
Yeah,
Amazon series. We've also got Haley Atwell is the like the Netflix anime Lara Croft as well. I think it's
yeah,
been given a second or a third season now as well. So there is a resurgence, and
yeah. They're
I
going on,
find
aren't they?
I find that the Netflix series is very um true. It's very much true to like the Survivor series. It has a little
Right.
bit
Okay.
more of a like that supernatural element. I know the Survivor series tends to lean into that supernatural,
Yeah, I love that.
like relics and totems and stuff
Mm.
like that. And it's done very well. And I'm not sure what's going to happen. I'm not sure what way they're going to play it with the Sophie Turner version.
I think a TV series makes more sense for Lara Croft though.
Definitely, I
You can
think you
build
can
suspense.
kind of
No,
just
I know we're going to binge them, but like the idea of week to week suspense, or like here's half a season,
yeah.
here's the next half of the season. I think that lends itself very well in a compared to a film.
Are they going to keep it grounded as such? I think the way I'm looking at
That's a
some
fair
of the
point.
stuff with Sophie Turner's one, I feel as if they're trying to keep it as close to source as they can, and let her have a bit of gunplay, let her do parkour and stuff. I think
Yeah,
from what I remember reading on that, um the prep work, like she's gone and played the game. I quite like it when you
yeah,
hear that an actor's gone and played the games and
yeah.
they
I
know
love
how
that.
that
That's how it
works
should
and
be.
stuff.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
Even research anyway.
it's these ones that I'm very, very hopeful for, that they've made their mistakes. They
Mm.
now kind of realize that the fans will dump on them,
Yeah.
and they know that they have to kind of pull out the stops and be true to the source and stuff, or true to the source material effectively. I
Yeah.
know that the OG voice actor for Lara Croft is heavily involved in the Amazon series.
Oh, excellent. I didn't know
So
that.
I think the
Okay.
fact that she's now been involved in it as well, I think that usually is a good testament that they believe in
Yeah.
what's
Bringing
going
back
on
original
here.
heads.
Yeah.
That's good.
Like, because what are we, like, we're 2026 now. I'm just looking at basically where we are and what's coming out and what, we have got, like, at the minute. Let me just find where we have it in my notes. So currently, we've got 2026 sort of coming up. We've got Resident Evil. We have a Street Fighter. We've had 3 Sonic the Hedgehog movies as well. We've got a Legend of Zelda film coming out then as well. There's a Helldivers film coming out. There's an Elden Ring movie coming out, all sort of 27, 28.
Yeah.
Call of Duty, Battlefield as well. We've got 2 Five Nights at Freddy movies as well.
Of course. Hugely
like,
popular.
we are like massively in the thick of it in these adaptations. Now, I know the bulk of these are going to be horror because you can just put a title onto this, and as long as you have an iconic character,
It'll
that
put bumps in
will
seats.
you'll put bumps in seats is exactly right. The Five Nights at Freddy's ones I'm not massively versed in, but I remember watching the first one. It seemed to just be, there's the characters. We're going to kind of spin there's no, as far as I'm concerned, there's never been lore to Five Nights at Freddy's. You are a security guard who has to make sure that the robots don't kill you.
Yeah.
And the film has gone, and Blumhouse have gone and added in a lore and a story and everything around it. And I think that those kinds of games, it's the fans and it's the audience who plays it create a lore that then just becomes canonized now. But like, we're in a funny old place with adaptations as well at the minute. Like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat are the 2 that I kind of want to maybe highlight now. Street Fighter, I could absolutely, if that film never existed, I would not lose sleep over it.
You wouldn't care?
It's so,
see, the original is so corny, but I love it for that reason.
But I think that's kind of what they're doing in this. They're leaning into the corny.
They are.
Because
you've seen Cody Rhodes, for example. It's like
exactly. Like I've seen enough prep of Cody Rhodes doing for Gail. Love is going to shout at me for that pronunciation. I just think that how much of a story can you tell, and how much of whether or not it's going to be a thoughtful or a provocative story, or is it just going to be
one character?
You're kind of following everyone at one time, So, like, maybe I'm just kind of taking it at face value that, is it going to be like how the Injustice stories were? It would be like, oh, I need to talk to you. No, we need to fight first, and then they fight to progress the plot. Don't know.
I'm not sure where it's going to go either, to be honest. And the trailers is just a lot of, here's shot of X character, here's shot of X character. You're like, ooh.
Yeah, here's shouting, here's people going through walls, here's like the boom, boom, boom of every single character.
Yeah, the beats. Yeah.
Who do you know? Where do you go? Like,
I don't know what to expect either, but I'm excited just purely from a nostalgia standpoint.
I think
same for Mortal Kombat.
If the look of them, now I didn't watch Mortal Kombat 1, but I've seen a lot of the prep for Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah.
And I think with a lot of the Carl Urban marketing, now the marketing for this film I think has been exceptional.
Yeah.
Because what they've gone and done is they've just flooded the market with fake Carl Urban movies as like in his own character, as Johnny Cage. And I think that's actually like a real testament to that. And basically they've then gone and went, oh, I'm just an actor. What do you mean? I have to go and fight interdimensional monsters? And it looks really good. I actually think like it seems to be like quite a one to go look in cinema, because you know yourself, when you get these films that are so ultra CG, they're aged instantly. They age by the time you even hit them into the cinema.
You need to get that initial experience, don't you, in the cinema?
Yeah,
have to.
But like we've such a wealth of ones that I am looking forward to. Like even like A24 Studios, they seem to be the ones who are picking up a lot of these adaptations at the minute. Like they're currently filming for the Elden Ring movie at the minute, and I think they're picking up a Death Stranding adaptation as well.
Yeah.
The only kind of the blocker that I have on games like those is that, particularly Elden Ring, and you would know as a Souls-like player, those games are so broad, so open-ended.
Especially Elden Ring. Yeah.
There's a huge gamble that you're taking in what avenue you want to take that story in. Do you follow a golden path as such in Elden Ring, or do you set it prior to the fracture of the Elden Ring? And how, like,
Like from a
Either I'm going to be in two camps of this one. Sorry,
no,
you're
go
going to
ahead.
be in a camp who knows everything about the lore and every aspect of every demigod in the place beyond. I think it's called.
Yeah,
Or you're going to know nothing, who just plays the games because you think they look pretty.
yeah, and you just enjoy the combat or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, you don't read
I
the lore
think of it
because
like they've went with Elden Ring, obviously because of like who's attached with the story and everything else, and plus it's incredibly popular at the moment. But it's too open. Like something more in the kin of like Dark Souls 1. It's very linear. There's a very easy story to tell. So if they go with that approach, but with Elden Ring's lore, then yeah, it could work. So I do get your point when it comes to how open that game is.
that's it. No, like it's. I don't know. The proof will be in, like, I know they're in knee deep in filming, and a lot of people are starting to put together like what locations in
Yeah, people are crazy
the
like that,
realm
aren't they?
beyond.
I'm
Like
seeing a lot of
they're
that with Harry Potter at the
insane.
moment. It's just like constant leaks of, oh, they're doing this,
Well, that's
because like
it. I mean,
random
like,
photos are popping up.
do you know what though? Like, I think sometimes the fan base are probably the worst thing for it, is because
Yeah,
they'll scrutinize it before anything has even come into
it'll be
play then
hyped
as
up.
well. Like, yeah, exactly as well. Like, I mean, I'm looking at a few other options, like other releases and stuff here as well. And there's been talk for years and years about a Metal Gear Solid adaptation, a Metal Gear
That's
Solid
on my
movie. I think
list.
this one's been in development hell for
Yeah,
decades, more than a decade at least, anyway. And there has to be a reason for this, and I'm maybe it's a reason I'm not seeing here.
I
It's
think it's
just
how
I
do you
can't.
adapt it though. Because I thought about this. So whenever you messaged me, I assume we had like the good, the bad, honorable mentions, etc.
Yeah,
Metal Gear was one of my honorable, like what should be adapted. That I have two, and that was one of them. But I
yeah.
thought about it for quite a while, and I was like, only as a film. I don't think it works as a
It has
TV
to be a
series.
film. No, it has to be a film. I
It
think
has
for
to be a film, and I
the
think
way that
that's what's holding it
Kojima
up.
intends it. Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's what's holding it up because of how Metal Gear flows. Like, especially if you just take the first game, like, yeah, you can tell the tale of the brothers and essentially the clones, whatever, and the encounters that you come across. But I think it's the encounters and like the structure of the story. It's fantastic, as we all know. But outside of just like solid and liquid and all that jazz, outside of that, like the enemies is the harder part. Like, how do you fit them all in? How do you like intertwine them all in a film? I
yeah.
think
How
that's
do
harder to
you
do
how do
than
you make
we give credit to.
it's how do you make every fight seem like it needs their 15 minutes effectively? Like, how do you make those
Yeah,
fights
because like I
stand
thought of
out from
Raven
each other?
in my head. Like, also you're randomly just going across this. Like before I get to Raven, Sniper Wolf's a fantastic one. Where you could be like, oh, that's perfect. It's so thematic. Whenever you're doing that fight anyway in the game, that could work. That's great. But the next of Raven, you just randomly stumble upon like that encounter.
Yeah.
Like there's not much in the way of a build up. So how do you adapt? Like you'd have to flush that out in the film. So then how long's the film? If you're trying, I think that's what's holding it up. Handling all of the enemies, and then if you leave some out, fans are going to be
Oh,
pissed.
you'll be crucified. You'll be
Yeah,
absolutely crucified if you leave anybody out. And because it's a Kojima game, it's going to be so steeped and so deep in its lore, so deep in its, like, I suppose you could save a lot of time when Snake has to ask a question about everything, and
codec
then they
calls,
justify it with a. You can cut out codec calls, or you can like do them offhand or
or
whatever.
you could just
But
do
you don't
this.
have to worry
Yeah,
about. You don't have to worry about flashbacks or things for context. You don't have to worry about
press
like
the action button.
the waste disposal facilities history and everything like that. You can cut
Yeah,
out a lot that way. Because that just doesn't make for entertaining in a film aspect. Like, these are kind of the ones that are sort of upcoming that have been in development hell. There's a few more I kind of want to touch base on. We will get to good adaptations.
yeah,
There's a
of
few
course.
adaptations that really
Oh,
really
and
like.
strong. Yeah,
I've always a few sort of glances over. We'll say there's a few that I've kind of, as I've been going through my list here, that are pretty like stinking bad. The first one that comes to mind is Borderlands. The
it's on my
Borderlands
list.
movie
It's on my list under
was
bad.
100% the
Completely
worst
wrong.
thing I've ever seen.
Completely wrong.
Oh,
Just doesn't make
like,
sense. at all.
It's not even so much. It doesn't even make sense in the story. It doesn't even make sense in
Characters
like
don't.
what they're doing. The actual like filmmaking as a whole is shambolic as well. It's one
Yeah,
of the ugliest films I've ever seen. It's one of the most riddled with errors and riddled with like
it's like a moving images
stuff.
project. It's kind of
Exactly.
what it
Yeah.
screams. Yeah,
It just. But this is one of those ones that like they had it, and they had everything there to make a successful adaptation,
yeah.
and then they put Kevin Hart and Jack Black in it.
I was just about to say, whenever I seen that casting now in Jumanji, like the more modern Jumanjis,
Yeah.
I prefer the original. The original's fantastic. Them two and the modern ones with Dwayne Johnson, I find quite funny. I take them at face value what
It
they
makes
are.
sense, yeah.
They're just funny. But when I seen those two casted in the Borderlands, I was like, I know Borderlands has a lot of humor, but I think that they're just going to butcher this, and yeah, it kind of played out that way, planned out that way.
No, like the less said on the Borderlands, the better. I
Yeah,
think
terrible.
there's another one that I kind of want to. House of the Dead. That's another one I kind of want to talk about in terms of absolute stinkers of a movie. Like I have this like fleeting memory of it, and I was
Yeah.
just like, I remember, I'm very avid House of the Dead arcade player.
Yeah.
The movie was just wrong, and
Oh,
like absolutely wrong.
like you couldn't make the correlation. Like
No, they
between the two
share a
mediums.
name and nothing else.
Yeah.
They share a name and nothing else, and I'm just thinking
Completely different.
this is very much a case of they went, oh, that's popular. Let's let's make
Let's
it
latch
into a
onto that.
movie, but have no cohesion in terms of what it's an arcade shooter. At the end of the day, there isn't an awful lot unless you
But
go looking
that
for it.
works two ways. Like because it was an arcade shooter and there wasn't a huge amount of depth to the games in that era, it allows you more creativity. No,
Yeah,
but yeah, obviously that just wasn't. I do have one terrible adaptation
let's hear it. Yeah, let's
that I
hear
want
it.
to mention,
'Cause-
but like I'll fleetingly mention it because I'm kind of like this is a PlayStation podcast, but it is multi-platform now.
No. But honestly, I think like the video game adaptation. I think this conversation is well worth being stretched across all
Broad.
platforms. I think as as a medium, all video games. I think as if they're being adapted, they need to be respected and honored. It doesn't matter if it's like
Yeah.
Super Mario. It doesn't matter if it's Sonic. It doesn't matter if it's bloody. I'm imagining you're going to say Halo.
Of course, yes.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned that whenever you sat down with Mrs. Tomahawk and like Fallout, for example, you were like, no, I'm just playing it cool, but I'm so excited. That was
Yeah.
me with Halo. Like, basically every book that they've made is there. Like I
Awesome.
love the lore. I am that person we were talking about earlier that knows all of the lore, and then it comes to an adaptation, and you're like, this is shit, essentially.
Oh, but it's absolutely wrong. Yeah,
Oh, it's terrible. Like what has happened. The biggest issue with it was started off quite strong. Like the visual effects, fantastic. The armors, fantastic. Like the setting, they casted like Halsey, Chief Pablo Schreiber as Chief. With what the story he was given, he was fantastic.
Yeah.
Captain Key's fantastic. The casting was very good. It was the one thing in their credit. It was a silver timeline, so it wasn't canon. But in like for anyone that's played Halo or hasn't played Halo, Master Chief is meant to be you. You're the vessel. You are Chief. He's very quiet. He's Clint
Oh, he's a
Eastwood, essentially,
self-insert.
until
Yeah,
you
yeah.
get to like Halo 4, and then his personality comes in a bit more. But in the TV show, it was basically like, I'm Master Chief. I can save the world and the universe, but I'm in a Coronation Street. Like there was just so much emotion and tears and adult
Okay.
time. Like it just
It's not something I've ever like thought about watching was the Halo series. But I probably will give it to you there. I've seen like the set pictures, I've seen the trailers and stuff. It looks great. Like in
battle
terms
scenes
of
are
like
fantastic.
the actual design and the setup for the show. Like because you can obviously like you can tell a bad show when it just looks like it's a studio lot with a cheap costume, whereas they look
Yeah,
like they've
but the
actually took
budget
the
this was
time and the
obviously high.
effort to
Yeah.
they made a big effort on this
And
one.
the sad thing is, it ended strong until it was cancelled.
Okay.
Like the end
Oh, right.
of the season was very good, very intriguing. You were like, shit, stuff's about to happen. They revealed the flood, for example. Like they teased it, and how they did it was fantastic. And then it got canned because the story in the start of the season was terrible. Like it was like emotions and feelings and all the stuff that you
Yeah.
just don't associate with Master Chief. Like all the Spartans, actually, not just Master Chief, was the direction they took with it. And I understand that it felt like they were trying to take Halo, Game of Thrones, like all the saucer side of Game of
Like
Thrones, shall we say, and mash it
relationship
together.
side.
It's kind of what they
Yeah.
were going for, and it just landed flat. And I was so disappointed as a Halo fan, I have to say. But that's my passionate one to rant about.
You know what though? When, as you say, when you're passionate about it, like who am I to say otherwise on it? But yeah, it's one of those ones that I've kind of like thought about jumping into, but again, I'm so like fleeting with Halo. I think I played 3 ODST Reach and 4 maybe. I've been so like blasé with Halo, and I just was like having a great time playing it, but when I stopped playing it I was like, that's fine.
Yeah, exactly. I think honestly, like putting bias aside, it was a product of its time. It was the biggest release. Halo 3 was
Oh yeah,
insane, that
100%.
midnight launch. Like biggest release ever until Grand Theft Auto 5. It was nuts. Well, one of the Call of Duties beat it actually before that. But groundbreaking, but it was a product of its time. Like the early 360, the start of socials, when it comes to like gaming, like party chats, all that stuff was just introduced with Halo 2 and 3. Actually invented for Halo 2. Xbox Live, just saying. But
True.
Max Hoberman, shout out to Max Hoberman. But I think it was a product of its time. It's harder for someone to get into it now, so I'm glad they're remaking it.
Absolutely.
They're remaking the trilogy too, which is the worst kept secret at the moment in gaming.
The laugh is, I could go on forever and ever about like all these adaptations that we have. Like, you know, we've had Hitman films, we've had Prince of Persia films, we've had Need for Speed, there's Warcraft, Assassin's Creed. There's been like the Sonic trilogy is absolutely how you like, in my opinion, the Sonic films are a gold standard of adaptations. Like they have just took that character, put him into like
excellent.
the real world universe, and they can put as much effort or as little effort as they want in terms of like the game aspect. They've took that, they've adapted it perfectly to
the
film aspect.
You're going to get loads of fans that are just kids now that are fans of just those films. Never played the game or experienced the character, and they're going to love it.
It's also one of the very few film franchises and one of the very few times where bullying the people who are making it into changing the character works. And it did.
Was right.
Although
as well.
This was my laugh. I remember seeing a video about this, and I'm going to kind of like rehash it. I have a feeling that we were gaslit this whole time about that. And I feel as if they had no intention of ever releasing a Sonic film with that original Sonic look.
Maybe that was an early render.
And I feel as if that they did that as like a meme build to go
kind of like backwards marketing.
Let's see how much discourse we can create.
Yeah. That's a good take. I like that.
That's completely pull it out the way that they did.
Aye.
They're not putting out a bad Sonic avatar.
Because they nailed it in the end up.
They nailed that entire trilogy.
Yeah.
And they're getting more, and we're getting more. We're not going to stop. Jim Carrey will never retire because he believes in the Sonic project so much.
He is Robotnik. Like he is the Eggman.
100%.
Yeah.
Like it is one of the very few examples that I particularly have that it works as a video game adaptation. Just done right. It doesn't have to be all bells and whistles. There's a few callbacks. It shows beloved characters within the series.
Yeah.
Like it is the gold standard, and it's not a film that I'm particularly like, I need to go and watch these. If it's on, I'll go, I'll stick
it's
that
fun.
on.
It's a good watch.
It's great and it's fun.
I think Mario has it's not as good, but I think the 2 Mario adaptations that we've had
solid
are nearly as good.
I remember going to see the first Mario film.
Sonic is what kind of put the burners underneath them, and they were like, "That's what we need to aspire to."
They had to like, this is where we need to be. Like, I mean, because even then, they're original stories, and they've baked in an awful lot of like aspects of all of the franchises. Like even just like how the music plays out and all the scenes that they go to, all the places that they visit.
Sound effects in Mario is one of the main things.
Mario movies are awesome.
Yeah, like when the most recent one, I took my son to see it not that long ago, and there was just so many instances where the traversing and the subtle sound effects where I'm like, obviously that's from the games, and it gives you that hit of nostalgia. Like I didn't grow up playing Mario, like Super Mario World. I only played a couple of years ago, for example, but I've played Mario Kart and all that. But I thought that was very clever. How they handled small doses of nostalgia for people that are familiar with it, and then on the flip side of that, for people that that's their first Mario experience.
Yeah,
AKA, like
exactly.
kind of like if it's your first high score, high stakes podcast, like you'll hear that jingle down the line and be familiar with it. So someone watching the film
And it's just,
of Mario will
you
hear
know how
those
to connect
jingles or
those
like those
dots. And
sound
yeah,
effects and be like, they'll go and play the game and be like, oh, I recognize this. I thought that's pretty
like I
clever.
think whenever those films came out as well, they just became like smashed box offices and everything,
Oh,
like in terms of like adaptations and how it needs to be done. And I think because they are like cartoon aspects, like that just
yes,
helps their
animation
adaptations.
really
They
helps.
can just, yeah.
Uh,
Whereas like a lot of the examples that I've had and have had been using are all like horror and action adventure and kind of stuff like that. And it's quite hard to find
uh,
and nail that
there's more
balance.
scrutiny.
Whereas like you
Yeah,
can put loads of different references and stuff and just be a fan service film, and people will love and adore it because that's where their brain immediately wants to go to.
yeah.
I'm just trying to think like other call outs to some really, really standout ones. Like I'm having like personally for me, I'm having a great time with the Devil May Cry
Fantastic
adaptations on
series. I
Netflix
haven't.
as
I'm not up
well.
to date on it. But yeah,
I'm like starting into like I'm in the middle of season 2 on that one, and
right.
I
Okay, I've seen
think
season 1, but I've
as
not.
like
Yeah, I'm
an
not season 2.
origin, like this is kind of like building up to where I think Devil May Cry 3 should start.
Okay,
They're doing a really good job of it. Like I think they've just
excellent.
nailed this like aesthetic of Dante, and like he's just the bit. They've took elements of like DMC,
Yeah.
and then the Dante that we know from like the original 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Mm.
wherever we're up to now in the Devil May Cry series, and they've just locked it in. I think because we're going from um, video game to anime,
I think anime
there's a bit
works.
more of
Though.
a
Like
more
if that was live
forgiving.
action, I don't think it hits as hard or as good.
No, not at all.
The
Not
anime
at
sort
all.
of gives it like it's an easier transition even mentally from a video game medium, which is essentially like a render and animation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an easier transition, I think, than it is to live action.
Now
If you're
there was a
talking, are
couple
we talking
more. Oh,
great
yes,
adaptations here?
let's hear it.
Is that what we're on? Like, I
Oh,
think
yeah, I think so. I think that's a nice segue into like what is currently
what is the
working
best?
and why they're working. I think, yeah,
I think I'll mention one, and I think now the top two that I was thinking. I think the winner is Fallout. I think it's the best adaptation I've seen
one
of a
hundred
video
percent.
game to a TV medium.
I think in the current landscape of things, Amazon have just
Nailed it.
nailed it.
Oh,
Absolutely nailed
unbelievable.
it. And I think that their mission statement, and I think this is what was so good about this, their kind of mission statement really going into this, into the production of this, is they want this to be like just a story within the
Mm.
wider universe.
Yeah.
That this doesn't have to be part of
I think
a
that's how you do
canon
it.
or a lore that we already know and
Strips away all that expectation
can,
of, oh, that
you
character
know,
wouldn't do that. They wouldn't behave like this. No, this is a new character. You don't have any
yeah.
like premisconceptions
There's
around this
no
person.
there's no prejudice going into this. It's
Yeah.
like she literally we got the look at Vault 33
Yeah.
and we learned about the ghoul and you kind of learned the ghoul's story, and then you've
Love that
got
backstory too.
hints with like the Brotherhood of Steel. You've got hints with like everything going on in New Vegas in season 2.
Yeah.
Um, fully back everything that they've done in this, and the story could run for seasons on seasons and seasons.
I honestly think that it's a 5, 6 season show if they really want it to be. As long as they
Yeah.
keep the quality of what it's at. Season 1 and 2 have been fantastic.
But like it doesn't look like it's not a cheap show. That
No.
everything that they've done in it looks incredible. Like even
Yeah.
the all the even all the random bits, like the actual detailing in like the Pip Boy, even like the robot. I can't remember what you call the actual robot assistant that Matt Berry voices. He plays like
Oh, the
the doctor, like the vault, like it's like a vault tech kind of
yes.
floaty robot.
It's
Someone
leaving
should
my
probably
head now
shoot
as
me
well.
for this for not knowing the name of it. Like,
Yeah.
but
It'll come to me in a minute.
it will. That'll be one of those things. Like they've nailed the look of it. Even the power armor. Whenever I first saw the
Oh,
trailer
fantastic.
for it, and you see the power armor, I thought this is kind of where it'll make or break it. It looks solid.
How it
Even the
moves
death claws in part 2, even
as
season
well.
2 of the death claws,
Oh, yeah.
incredible. Like it just, they've gone in and said, look, we want this to be fan service for current player or current admirers of the franchise. We also want this to be a good stepping point for people who have never played a Fallout game, and it's
Yeah.
an original enough premise that they like. post-apocalypse is like the thing that sells the most at the minute. Like that's always
Yeah.
the
Of course,
go-to
Walking
film,
Dead
the
started
go-to
it, really,
TV
didn't it?
series. Walking
Yeah.
Dead, exactly. That kind of was
Yeah.
that big modern resurgence of post-apocalypse. Um, that's probably one that doesn't work the opposite way for adaptations, actually.
Yeah.
But
Like, shout out
Fallout,
to the Telltale games, they were good, but like
oh god, but everything else not so good.
everything else, nah, not at
But
all.
like that's it kind of is the similar way that it's like an isolated story in a wider universe when nobody has to cross over and they just do their own thing. That works perfectly.
Yeah.
It's when you start bringing in characters in a series that already exists with their own motivations and stuff. But like for Fallout, they can maybe hint at, like, they've got Mr. House and
Yeah.
they've hinted at other big players, but these big players are all going to be just like blips in the main character.
Yeah. They're
Her
like,
character's going to is gone from my memory as well. Can't remember her name as well, but she's brilliant in it.
yeah.
And she just kind of like rolls with the punches. She kind of is just on this adventure and everything's happening around her, and we're just there for the journey with her.
Yeah. Just takes it on the
Uh,
chin. Yeah.
but this is kind of where I'm standing. Like Amazon have absolutely nailed this one. They've also got the rights to a Mass Effect series.
Yes. Potential to be
And
a phenomenal adaptation.
I'm
Potential.
hoping that they do the same thing. I kind of don't want to see 10 seasons of Commander Shepard. I kind of want to see a Mass Effect universe, but with like a Spectre's story arc or something about the
Yeah.
Council, or kind of how you make it like that. Whether or not, even if they just do Golden Path Mass Effect, you kind of want them to stay true to the source, but also you want them to be able to have a good launching point for people who have never played a Mass Effect game, and there are plenty.
Yeah. I think for Mass Effect, it's trickier than it is for Fallout, because you think of Fallout, you're essentially, you're you, but you're a different character every time.
Yeah.
Mass Effect, no, you're Shepard. No, male or female Shepard.
Yeah.
1, 2, and 3. And Andromeda. So I think that makes it a bit more different. Like a bit more difficult. Sorry. Versus the likes of Fallout, where you can't have that ambiguity or to create a fresh character and ignore the main story. Mass Effect's a bit trickier. So I have faith
Yeah.
with how they've
Mass
handled
Effect's super
Fallout.
early doors,
Yeah.
but it just, I think that they have such a great, Amazon have such a great blueprint for Mass Effect with Fallout that you hope that they're just going to go, we know what we're doing, let us cook.
Yeah.
But we could be a while off for a Mass Effect series as well. But
Oh,
I think
fact.
kind of where we're at then, TV series seems to be where we're at, like the best way forward for some of these adaptations. Like my sort of preferred favorite at the minute, and it is up there in terms, like, I have issues with casting, but
Yeah.
in terms of the overall story beats, they've absolutely nailed it. They haven't deviated, and anytime they have deviated, it's been phenomenal. It's The Last of Us. I
And
think
that was my second pick. Fallout just beat it.
yeah, I think
And the point that you made earlier, where if you're not telling a unique story and you're following set characters, which we are in The Last of Us, that's where it can fall into more scrutiny. And I think that's why it came second for me behind Fallout.
Yeah.
Because there's so much discourse or scrutiny around the characters or how they're handled, shall we say, in the TV show. But I think in terms of quality, it's fantastic. Like, a lot of people were, the second game's well,
like, I think when you see HBO's track record with shows, books, that kind of stuff, dependable. That's exactly the way I would describe them. I like that they didn't change the opening. The opening was the opening with like everything falling apart and like the death of Sarah. Spoiler alert. If nobody's played The Last of Us at this point, you're not playing it by now. So like, spoiler alert, doesn't exist. But what I like is how they started the show. And this really sits with me to this day, is when they had that talk show in the 60s.
Yeah.
And they start talking about
with your man was
the cordyceps.
Yeah, the
scientist. Like, well, you know, if the planet gets warmer, it could evolve and blah blah blah. And then it kind of, and then he forebodes this whole idea, and then it kind of just dumps you into where we start The Last of Us.
Yeah, which is based on reality as well.
That was as harrowing an opening as it was when I first played the game. Way back
2013, was it?
2013, yeah, something like that. They changed a wee couple of beats. I when they changed Bill's story, they nearly changed it for the better as well. Like there was a few
I liked the change
in The
to be
HBO
honest.
one I thought was incredible. I think
Yeah.
it was just fantastic writing, and it kind of gave this whole new element and layer and dimension to a character that you only kind of get to see for like side dialogue.
Yeah.
It's like two
Not much
exchanges:
time.
an exchange at the start of his chapter and an exchange at the end, and
Yeah.
then his lore. You put the
You
dots
can
together as
find in
you
the
go.
game, but it's very narrow. There's not much to build.
You
Like I think
find
there's a
it, but
journal,
it's
isn't there,
kind
that you
of
can find and stuff like that.
circumstantial. Yeah,
Yeah.
all of the dots you connect are very circumstantial, whereas like this one puts it properly. Like you
It was like
have
its own
a clue
story
of the
inside that
pieces.
season,
Yeah.
and I thought it was
Oh, it
excellent.
needed to be done. And then
Yeah.
whenever he arrives and Bill's not there, Bill's
Yeah.
died because of all of the things that have happened. It's like that was brilliant. They
Ah.
kind of can just tell his story, but they don't need to do the whole school thing. I think HBO
Yeah.
did a brilliant job, particularly in season one, where they were able to just go, well, we don't need to have set pieces of zombies all the time. The story is that the worst kind of villains are people. And I think
Ah.
HBO nailed that. Season two divides a little bit of opinion,
Yeah.
but I think that was more because of the casting. I don't
I
particularly
think
think
so too.
Bella Ramsey was the correct choice.
I don't either.
However,
Not on ability. It just
yeah,
she just didn't fit the profile of like how I envisioned. Maybe it's just a bias of how you see her in the game, like that sort of scruffiness. Maybe it's because I seen her in Game of Thrones though. She came across a bit too
that's it.
young for the role. She looks really young compared to even how Ellie is in the
100%.
game.
Like I think it's
She looks
just maybe
really
how
young.
like her acting style. It's not a problem on her. It's maybe just my perception of how I thought Ellie should have been played out. But
Yeah.
even the same with Abby as well. I wasn't 100% convinced with Abby, but I think as the season goes on, particularly as season three might go for The Last of Us, she'll
Yeah.
probably grow on me
Because that's
in
focusing
that
on Abby,
aspect
isn't
as
it? From
well.
what I
It'll
remember.
be the full,
Yeah, I'm all
it'll
for
be the
that
full
because
Abby arc as well.
like
Because
I think
I
the
like
second game
the
finishes
narrative.
strong. Like,
Yeah.
see how the second game finishes. Like, I'll not mention it just in case someone hasn't played it. But how it finishes with the payoff between Abby and Ellie, I think it's fantastic
100%.
with how the
I
second
think
game finishes.
that's season three. If they nail it
Yeah,
the way that I remember how I experienced it, season three could be awesome,
I think they're going to.
especially an Abby
I think they're going to
centric
flip
one.
people. You know, I think people are going to be like, actually, Abby's class. Like the
Yeah,
casting
but
was
then
great.
that's so
The
many.
story's
I
great.
think, but this is the laugh. Like when it comes to TV watchers and gamers, the gamers will already be going into this going, Abby's got a great arc. I stand by Abby as one of the best character arcs in modern gaming. I think a lot of TV watchers will be pleasantly like they'll really enjoy her arc in season three.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Or it could be wrong, and everyone's
No,
going to hate her
I
even
agree
more.
with you. Like we could be wrong, but I agree with you. And I think for her casting as well, it was the same where people were like, she's too small. She doesn't fit the profile. Abby's in the game is portrayed as noticeably bigger than Ellie and stuff like that. I don't think that matters to a certain extent, but I can see how people seen that casting. It's kind of the same casting I've seen as well with Ellie, where I was just like, she looks too like Ellie's
That's
not
it.
compared to Abby. She's tiny in the games, but she seems like she could really fend for herself. Like I just from the casting, I didn't get that impression at the start, but to her credit, from Bella Ramsey's credit, when I finished season one, I was like, she's fantastic. I really enjoyed it. So like,
Yeah.
I was happy to eat my words and be like, yeah, she was great.
See, it's a game like that I think that if you're not a gamer, that story needs to be told in in a live action medium. It's one of
Yeah.
those ones that I think is the prime example, is like my biggest prime example about how like we do need these, and this is how if it's done right and done tastefully, everyone can enjoy that story. 100%. Have you
I
any
think
more
that's
to
what Ben
call
Starr
out?
made, you know. Like I've just had this thought.
Have you
When you were
have
on
we,
about Ben Starr at the
we
start
full
of the
circle on this?
show.
So he's not gatekeeping; he's protecting.
I think he's trying to say that his point was essentially gaming has strong enough stories like The Last of Us, which is film award worthy. Like
yeah.
fantastic story that is its own medium. It doesn't need an adaptation. But maybe his point was if it gets a good adaptation, then great. But it doesn't need to have an adaptation. But The Last of Us
Yeah.
is an example where it
To
worked out
validate
perfectly.
its existence. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those comments that I'm like, I'll obsess on it for months and months now, and then when I do have this conversation with Ben Starr, I'll be like, "Were you
Yeah,
gatekeeping?"
get him on the show.
That's the perfect world in the perfect world. Any more to call out? Because I have a couple of bests and worsts from Lova and Cardinal to quickly go over. Then, and
I
there's a
had one
couple I
mention then
haven't mentioned. Let's hear
before we
it. Let's
wrap
hear
up.
it. Before we,
And this one was in the middle. So we had good and bad examples. I wanted to give one that was okay, and it was The
okay.
Witcher. The Witcher TV
The
show
Witcher
was fantastic
very
until they kind of went on their own. I don't care about the Henry Cavill change, which was quite a big change, but I think he's handled it well. Like he's no Hemsworth is very good. I think
very good on
to
it.
his
Yeah.
credit, if they had started with him, nobody would have any complaints. That's my way of putting it. However, how the lore has deviated has kind of killed it off.
It's the Game of Thrones treatment. It's very much the people who make it think that they know best, and that's kind of why Henry Cavill left on the show, is because he's the man who knows everything about The Witcher, knows everything about. That's like we're getting a Warhammer 40k series from Amazon because of this,
because of him.
effectively.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like, as you say about Liam Hemsworth, he doesn't do a bad job, especially if you believe all the reviews that you read on it. It's like, I remember particularly seeing one, and they're like, it's not a bad season. It's just not Henry Cavill, and that seems like the worst possible criticism, because
which is lousy. Yeah,
Liam Hemsworth can't help that.
Exactly. Like, and that's why I made this. Like, if we had to start it with them, no Henry Cavill, I don't think anyone would have had any complaints.
Like season 1, I really, really like season 1 and 2 of Witcher. Season 3 is just very ropey, and then season 4, I actually haven't watched season 4, so I don't like. I have 2 good, 1 okay, 1 I don't know. So yeah, I would agree. It's very sits in the middle of the road.
Yeah, very nearly a great adaptation. That's how I thought about it. Very nearly. It just kind of deviated towards the end, sadly.
Season 1 is incredible. I will give Netflix that. They absolutely, because I knew nothing really about The Witcher as a book. I played The Wild Hunt, and I knew that that's kind of where the films and the game, or the games, or the TV show was going to go.
That, wasn't it? Yeah.
But I just wanted to enjoy what we saw in season 1. I kind of want more of that, just because I think season 1 was very much just like The Witcher short stories.
And it was kind of like lowered up into short stories.
Yeah. Exactly. I'd rather just have seen more of that than any kind of intertwined narrative, but it is what it is, and I did enjoy what I watched of Witcher.
Yeah, it was good, I have to say.
Good stuff. Well, I have, you know what, The Witcher was one I completely forgot about and was nearly going to not mention. I do have a couple of tops and bottoms for Lova and Cardinal, so we will go over that. We've talked about a couple of these as well. Sonic the Hedgehog being one of Cardinal's and Lova's. It says depending on Lova's day, 2 or 3 is probably the best adaptation.
Okay.
The Last of Us as well. We've already talked about that. Cardinal did say that his Resident Evil live action was probably one of his preferred adaptations. He said he quite liked that. He's not a horror buff. He's very much scaredy cat pants. Won't watch horror. Won't play horror. Won't. If it's not a turn-based RPG, he doesn't want to hear about it. And Lova gave a shout out, and I haven't watched this, but I've seen a lot of good reviews on this. Was Twisted Metal?
I haven't watched it either. No,
the Apple, I think it's Apple TV or something along those lines. They
right, okay.
It's Anthony Mackie plays John Doe, and Samoa Joe plays
that's right.
Sweet Tooth.
Sweet Tooth.
It's one of those ones. It looks great. Lova has raved about it in our group chat every time a season gets dropped, and I think it's on like season 3 or something now.
Yeah.
Some of the bad ones: Max Payne.
Completely forgot about that.
Mark Wahlberg. I mean, just like, I think there's a reason we forgot about that one. Hitman.
That was very disappointing.
Timothy Oliphant. I don't remember it at all, and I think that must. There's a reason I must have forgot about it. And the last one, Cardinal did mention Final Fantasy Spirits Within. I haven't watched any live action or that animated Final Fantasy ones, but I believe that they're not good anyway.
Yeah, I've never heard anybody mention them. So that's usually a telltale sign that
they exist, and people know that they exist, and I think that they're baked into whatever overarching canon Final Fantasy does have.
Right, okay.
And for the all-time ultimate worst one, Cardinal Smith called out Doom 2005.
Doom.
With Karl Urban. And the only reason I didn't mention this is because I love it.
it's a bit of a cult classic for people, is it not? It
It's
was
a
on the tip
cult
of my tongue.
classic for
Yeah,
how bad it is. Like
yeah.
it's in
It's
terms
come out
of
the other
Doom.
side.
It has the first person sequence,
Yeah,
and it's called Doom. When they're on Mars, they're the only three things that they have that are related.
yeah.
I think even
I only watched
the,
that a few
the
years ago.
lead
Actually.
the lead woman in it, and her name escapes me now. She said that nearly killed her career. Nobody. She said after 2005, there was a period of time when
No
nobody would
way.
hire her. Rosamund Pike. Rosamund Pike. The woman who ended up going on to do Gone Girl and all those other wonderful titles as well.
A good
She was
resurgence. Yeah.
Bond. She was a Bond villainette as well.
Mm.
In Die Another Day, that she's not had a bad career, but I can't say that Doom has ever didn't not help her. Like Carl Urban as well. He's gone on and done Judge Dredd, Lord of the Rings. Mortal Kombat there as well.
Yeah.
So these films haven't this film hasn't
The boys.
hampered their career. Like Dwayne Johnson as well. He's gone and had
Oh, what would they
he's
call
had
her?
a career, we'll say.
Yeah.
I have my issues with Dwayne Johnson, but we'll not discuss that today. But Doom is a film that holds a fond place in my heart. I think it's jank, but
Mm.
it's so much fun to watch. Like,
I only watched it like
yeah,
2-3 years ago. It was
I
mentioned
have
one
the
time on
DVD
stream,
of it somewhere.
and I went and
It's,
watched it
it's
because I was playing them, and I was like, it was fun. Like,
class.
and I remember
Like,
reading about it then, and like people loved it. Like, I was like, right, okay.
so many people I know hate it, and I'm like, is there something wrong with me? Am I the problem? But who knows? I think we've drank this well dry in terms of, like, we have to accept that they're all going to be bad, but we are in
Mm.
very much a good position with adaptations now, that there's a lot of people show running, a lot of people at the helms of these films, TV shows, what's happening, who are fans. And I think to be a fan of what you're making is a huge help.
Yeah.
And I think we're currently in a position where, like, this perception of, oh, it's an adaptation of a game, it's going to be crap, is starting to wash away a little bit,
Which is great.
which is what I want to see, because I like these stories, these narratives and stuff that people don't get to see on a daily basis. And I think for, like, the wash that goes into Hollywood films at the minute, a breath of fresh air with some of these, like, gaming narratives as well is just, it's great to be able to share that with other people
Do
outside
you
of a gaming
think,
circle.
I've just had this thought, and I've been noticing the trend as we've been having this episode. Do you think that gaming adaptations now to film media, especially, are starting to take the place of nostalgic sequels? Because Hollywood has been revisiting old IPs, making sequels 30 years later. For purely, this is a safe bet. It'll do X amount,
Yeah.
we know it will. But video games adaptations, because of the likes of like The Last of Us and stuff, like we'll include TV shows in it as well, because
Oh yeah,
that'll fit.
100%.
But there definitely is an uptick on the amount of conversions or adaptations. So maybe
Oh, like, it's the new
thing.
yeah, as you say, it's like the new meta
Trend.
for Hollywood now. It's like, if it's popular, people will go see it.
Yeah.
And if it's popular enough that it reaches the ears of a non-gamer, their curiosity will get the better of them.
Then word of mouth kicks in then.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you can put a big face behind it and a big directing name behind it, then I think that's definitely, like, I think that's why, like, Minecraft does so well, because straight away it had Jack Black, Jason Momoa, it had a huge name behind it.
Yeah.
And
And a
people just
hugely popular IP. Yeah.
And it's a sequel guaranteed. I think it's a sequel in development currently as
It
well.
is,
So
yeah. As far as I know.
very little to do with Minecraft, as far as I'm aware. But
I have
that is where we're at, I think.
I have one adaptation that we didn't touch on, but it is on my list, and I feel I think it deserves mentioning.
We'll say that we'll have a wee chat about it before we wrap up here now, because we've rattled and chewed
I can
the
touch on it
fat
quickly.
on a lot of these. Let's go for it. Let's hear it.
So, what should be adapted, but as a TV show, Red Dead Redemption. You look at Yellowstone, you look at Westworld, etc.
Too much. Yeah, no, I get where you're coming from. It's such an infinite
There
well.
is material out there that is similar, like it's based in the Wild West or whatever. there's enough of a story there. When you think of Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2, like the gang, all the intertwining stories, you could cover
Oh
bits of
yeah,
each
yeah,
character's
you have a
backstory.
huge well
There's so much
to
there for a
draw
TV
from.
show. I'm surprised it hasn't
Yeah,
been adapted.
especially with all of the kind of Western type shows that
Yeah,
Prime,
Yellowstone and stuff.
Paramount, all of those, like
Yeah,
it's such a popular genre at the minute, and just with like Red Dead Redemption 2 alone,
Mhm.
you could start there and just do a Red Dead Redemption series for
yeah,
20 seasons. You don't have to do every aspect of it, but you have enough there to golden path a
yeah.
pretty sizable TV show. That's a really good shout, actually.
Because
I
that name Jess was me too. That should be done.
I didn't. I was thinking about this for the longest time now, and I genuinely struggled at what I would love to see done and what
Mm.
IP I would love to see done. One that always springs to mind, we're not going to get a sequel for it anytime soon, so I may as well get a fix elsewhere. I did have it in my head that I wanted to see a Bloodborne,
That I
like
could see it working.
film
Gothic
or a
theme works well in
series,
film.
like gothic, Lovecraftian stuff
Yes,
has been kind of
Lovecraftian. That's the
circling
word.
back into horror, into Hollywood and as a whole. We are getting an anime
Yeah,
movie.
Jack
So I'm
Septiceye
gonna have
is
to.
behind it.
Yes, he
Yeah.
is behind, and he is a big Bloodborne
Oh,
fan as well.
huge.
So I have hope that that's going to look and play well and sound well and tick all the boxes. If I'm not getting a sequel, I will settle for an anime movie of
Yeah.
Bloodborne. Then, and Lova came out and give me a. He would love to see Streets of Rage kind of
Oh,
done as
what a game.
a
Games.
film or a TV show, or I think more of a film, really. And
Film.
his
I think
thought on
Mortal
it would
Kombat,
be a
Street Fighter is what you think of
modern.
with those.
He kind of envisioned it as like a modern day The Warriors.
Okay, right. Fair
And
enough.
I as
Oh,
soon as
classic.
because I was looking at that and going like, oh, actually, yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Mm,
Because funny enough, because we got a Warriors game
yeah.
like 15 years ago or something like that as
PS2.
well. I want
Yeah.
to say, um, it could work.
Yeah.
Streets of Rage 4 was a quality game, and you could easily just like bake a cheesy fighting game.
And attach big names to it as well.
Exactly.
That
That's all
could
you need
actually
to do.
happen if Street Fighter does really well. The likes of Streets of Rage, you could see an adaptation happen if that genre really kicks off. No pun intended.
If Street Fighter works, and Street Fighter works in the style that they're going for now, who knows? All the fighting beat 'em ups could get their turn, can get their time in the sun anyway.
Marvel versus DC.
Let's not push the boat too much, I think. Like this is the laugh. Like before we wrap up, I do want to say like we've been talking a lot about how games are getting the movie treatment and the TV show treatment, but like films getting the game treatment kind of is just as sketchy. I think we get more bad than we get good. Like I mean, I was talking earlier about how we haven't had a good Bond game, arguably ever.
Yeah, I loved Quantum of Solace. I really enjoyed that.
See, game tie-ins I wouldn't count. But also then I haven't played Quantum of Solace to know is how much of the movie is actually in the game, or is it?
Yeah. That's fair. I've not seen all the Bond films, mind you. I've seen like 5 or 6. That is one I've seen, and I know.
Quantum of Solace is actually one of my favorite Bond films as well. But like we're talking about like First Light's coming out in the next couple of weeks, so we're kind of hoping that this might buck that trend. But on the flip side, then we've got like, you know, we've had Alien Isolation, which is a absolute phenomenal
smash hit,
like entry into the Alien verse. It's canon in the story. However you want to like feed that in, it works. It's like its own story, but it feeds into how Alien 1 works, and it sets up into Alien 2, and then we're getting Alien Isolation 2. So it's a super strong IP in the gaming space that also you don't have to be versed in the movies as much to enjoy. And I did have one more, like Terminator as well. We got a great Terminator game with 2D. Terminator 2D.
Terminator 2D, No Fate.
No, not Dark Fate, No Fate, yes. Like,
fantastic.
It's there, and it was done in the retro gaming style as well. But only for the fact that we've got time. I say time constraints. There's so many more games that we could be talking about.
The next time you need to do an episode like this, do it on the flip side. So films.
We need to do it. Yeah, I think we need to do a deep dive on films into games now, because gaming movie tie-ins I could talk about all day. Because don't get me started on Lord of the Rings anyway. But
Early
we have talked
2000s.
about 2000 to 2005 golden age of gaming. Right.
I'll shut up now.
We are going to put to bed gaming adaptations to film and TV. We know where they've gone wrong. We know that they're trying to put it right. All we have to know is that they're not going to fumble the ball in the next couple of months, in the next couple of years, because there are some big, big titles coming out that I kind of have hope for, and I'm holding on hope for that they'll do it right. Before we go, Hooke,
Yes.
before we get to the wrap up section, I have a little game that I want to play.
Okay.
I have been sneakily talking to people in our NI creators circles, and I have curated.
Right.
I've curated a list of games here, and what we're going to do is we're going to blind rank these games.
Ooh,
I'm not going to tell you the theme, and I'm hoping you can figure out the theme before we get the 10 games done. So we'll take a quick break here, and then when we jump into the section, then we're just going to quick fire blind rank some video games. Then
that's it.
Not these aren't related to the adaptations or anything like that. This is just going to be a little bit of fun just to wrap up for the day. Sure. Then, so we'll take a quick break and then we'll come back to this then. Okay?
That's
good. So, Hooke, I've kept you in the dark a little bit about this. I told you in Discord when I asked you to jump on this, and this was kind of something I'm trying to take for new guests to come on. I want to kind of play a little bit of a game with them. I want to have a little bit of crack, a little bit of banter, and I think this is a great starting point then. So I've curated a list of 10 games, and I'm just going to go read them from my list from top to bottom, and you're going to blind rank them, okay?
So rank them as an out of 10?
From 1 to 10. So 10 games, you're going to have to give them a position from 1 to 10.
Okay.
Are you ready? If you can tell me the theme by the time I get to game 10, I'll organize some sort of prize for you after the fact. But
right, okay.
Right. Game number 1. Oh, sorry. I'm going to do this. So I have a cue for doing it, for cutting this for the socials as well. So we're going to Hooke's top 10 blind ranked games. GoldenEye 007.
8.
Portal 2.
6.
Escape from Tarkov.
Ooh, 4.
Okay. Dark Souls 2.
5.
Okay. X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Ooh, 9.
Bloodborne.
2. Did I say 2?
2. No, 2's gone now. So Resident Evil 2.
7.
Oh, okay. Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Ooh. What spots have I got left?
1, 3, and 10.
1, 3, and 10. 3.
Halo Master Chief Collection.
1.
So going in at number 10.
I know the theme.
Is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
It's games I've played.
It's games you've played on twitch.tv.
I didn't get it until number 10, so I don't think that counts, but sure.
I have to give Leor credit for that. I asked him originally for the last 10 games you've played on Twitch, but I felt like that might have been a bit too easy. So I actually then asked him, can I have Hooke's entire Twitch catalog? And he went,
excellent.
Say no more. I felt like he had that on a hotkey though, so he had that too quick to give to me.
His mind is insane. He's like Stephen Hawking's level of like
I was thinking
information
more,
like that.
I was thinking more like Dustin Hoffman and Rain Man, but
that also works. Yeah.
Like, definitely Hooke Streamlab. But that is our top 10 blind ranked games you've played on Twitch. So number 1, Master Chief Collection. Number 2 is Bloodborne. Castlevania Symphony of the Night is 3. Escape from Tarkov is 4th. Dark Souls 2 is 5th. Portal 2 is 6th. Resident Evil 2 is 7th. GoldenEye is 8th. X-Men Origins Wolverine is 9th. And Jedi Fallen Order 10th.
That list is going to annoy some people.
That will probably irk a lot of humans. But we'll find out when that episode, when this drops anyway. We'll find out when that goes across the socials then. When we've done that, we are now properly done. So let us get straight into the wrap up section. So, Hooke, that is it done. Another episode done, another side quest done. Thank you so much for coming on. You have pulled me out of a massive hole today. It has been great to nerd out about some films, been great to nerd out about some TV shows, and great to, of course, nerd out over some games.
Fantastic time.
Before I go into the usual spiel and all my housekeeping, the mic is yours, friend. Do you want to plug your channel where we can find you all on the socials then?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Hooke, of course. You can get me mostly on Twitch. That's the best place to get me. TheHooke_. Again, don't ask about the underscore. You can ask me when I'm live if you want. But YouTube as well, just Hooke, where I'll post some personal stuff, but then Zero Cash Tech as well on YouTube for anything sort of streaming or tech related. And yeah, every other socials is Hooke. And thanks for having me on. It's been a blast.
Good stuff. No, I really appreciate it. No, I've been trying to get like all of like the NI creators that we have in our circle on to do something or talk about something or play a game of some description now as well. So we will definitely have to get you back on, and
anytime.
We'll have to try and get you to beat Leoric's Jeopardy high score. I think that could be something that we could look at in the near future. But
from memory, he did quite poorly. So
well, he ended up at 0. So like, I think there's only so much. No. we can make something work. I'd be keen to get you all on at some point. I have a wealth of ideas for game shows, but we'll definitely be getting you back. I know this is a bit of a shoot-in episode at the last minute for you, but I've had a blast chatting with you, friend. But I'm going to do my housekeeping and then we will call it there for the day then. So if you have enjoyed what you have listened to, do consider giving us a 1 to 5 star review, whatever you think we are worth, we will get. You can do that by the usual stuff. Share it on your socials, send it to your friends and family, hit the like, subscribes, all the bell buttons on all of the social media platforms. Let's try and get the podcast into every set of eyes and ears that we can. And if the hour and 46 plus of this has not been enough to sate your week, go to highscoreshighstakes.com and you can find out everything that we are doing all over the internet on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, all of it. We're there putting out content. And the website has also got every challenge we've ever done with mini reviews of every challenge played. That is being updated and renovated in the coming days and coming months as well. So keep an eye out on that. And I think for the 162nd time, that is all I have left to say, except I've been Tomahawk, and this has been High Scores, High Stakes. We'll take care. We'll see you next week. Love you all. Bye.